Oh, hey everyone. What is it? Thursday. Hello, hello, hello. It's good to be here with you guys. Comfy and cozy in bed. Hi, Lake Tahoe. It's probably beautiful there right now. It's so beautiful here, Northern California. Hi, Katie. Hi, Mike. Hi, Valeria. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Bari. Hello, my friend. Hi, Jen. Or Jan. Hi, Jan. It is really good to be here with you guys. This is the last live event for May. We start June, halfway through 2024. 2024 has humbled me. It has been, if I had one word for 2024, it would be on my knees humbled. As if we didn't think we needed to go any deeper into the path of faith and trust and humility and letting go. We went deeper. We're just continuing to drop. It's like a free fall. 2024 is a free fall. Like, hey, you thought you had everything together? You thought you figured this all out? You thought you had it all under control? We're going to just drop you now. You're just going to free fall, and you're going to learn how to just free fall. Oof. Anyhow, it's good to be here with you guys. And let's get going with our energy update. Beautiful badasses. It's a beautiful way to say it. Before we get going, because there are two powerful energies that I want to talk about right now that are being experienced on the planet. Kind of two themes. But before I do that, I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, we have our free 30-minute session coming up on June 5th. So on June 2nd, I believe, a post will go out. And it will go through an email. So you'll get an email. Is there something on my nose? I was eating croutons. I've been eating like a crazy person today. I cannot eat enough. Holy Moses, been eating so much. Anywho, the post will go out June 2nd. It'll be an email, and it will be an opportunity for all of you to enter your name in the comment section. And I choose one person on June 5th to get a free 30-minute session. So check your email June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and enter your name, and I'll choose one person at random. That's the first thing. Second thing is our live guided meditation is next Wednesday. No, hold on. Next Wednesday, June 5th at 2 p.m. So that's going to be a lot of fun. See where we go in that guided meditation. The third thing is that I have created and decided and created a 6-week live course. It's called Evolution, and I haven't done a live course, like a live 6-week course. I've done a line, but nothing like this for 2 years. So I'm really excited to do this. It will be 6 weeks, and it'll be a really intensive container where we dive deeper into the tools and the simple and yet profound and challenging tools of navigating our evolution right now, and really diving into the intricacies, the finite experiences that we're having right now, and peeling it back and really learning how to be in this chaotic and beautiful split that we're experiencing right now, because it's only going to intensify. So this is a 6-week live course. It begins June 20th and registration is June 12th. So I'm super excited about it. I have put a line kind of on the side so that I can do this class first. It's definitely guided for me to do it first. Guidance. God came in and said, do this course first. So that's what we're doing. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Last but not least, you guys. I'm doing my first Kenya retreat is coming together. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So the first of many Kenya retreats is coming together, and definitely make sure that you are on the waiting list. So email me if you're interested, and we're going to send out a link for the waiting list as well. It's going to be around the time frame of February 10th to 11th to February 20th, 21st. It'll be 10 days. Um, it's coming together. It's going to be so incredible. And there's only 16 slots. Um, just because I want to keep it really intimate. Um, and so we're going to do 3 retreats next year. So if you don't make the first one in February, we're going to do another one in July and another one in November. Um, so you can save up if you need to be able to make it. But it's going to be, I'm really, really, I've never been more excited about anything in all of my work that I've done in the last 7 years. Nothing has excited me more than the ability to bring you guys to Kenya and share what I've been sharing with you um, in real time. Mike, you're gonna come. You're gonna come. You're gonna be there. We're gonna be sitting in one of those Jeeps, Land Rover Jeeps, and we're gonna be looking at an elephant, and you're gonna be sitting there saying, "Holy shit! I can't believe you got me to Africa." um, the email with the registration is gonna go out, give or take, around July 8th. So we should have everything confirmed, all the details lined up, and everything precise and perfect by July 8th. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of things we have to make sure are tight and put together before we get you guys registered. It's going to be first come, first serve, Nancy. Unfortunately, there's no other way to really pick somebody. So, um, it's going to go fast. It's going to sell out so fast. And I wish I could bring more the first time, but it's just not, doesn't feel right. So it'll be first come, first serve. So you guys are all Patreons get first dibs before the regular world out there. So you guys get first dibs. And again, if you don't make the slot in February, there will be one in July and there will be one in November. So you guys, the ones that really want to come, you will get there. The pressure. No pressure. No pressure. So anywho, that's what's happened. Really, really, like nothing has lit me up in my entire life like this. Nothing, not even my book. So yeah, we're going to Kenya. We're going to Kenya. Yeah, God will choose. God's in charge. All right, you guys. So that's my homework, or not my homework, my housekeeping. So look for this 6-week course that's going to come out. I'll be talking about it again. Really excited about it. I haven't done a 6-week live course in a long time, over 2 years. So this will be a lot of fun, something different. And yeah, there's a lot going on energetically on this planet. Since I've been in Africa, you guys have gone through a lot more than I have. I feel like I came back and I was like, whoa, what has been going on this planet? I was very, very cut off from what a lot of the planet has been experiencing. It's almost like I was on a different planet and then I came back to the United States and I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. Holy shit, y'all have been rock stars while I've been gone. The class is going to be called Evolution, a 6-week live intensive. But anyway, so I got back and I'm like, since Sunday, right? So it's been like 5-6 days. And I'm like, You guys didn't tell me it was so chaotic. I saw a lot of posts and I saw a lot of information about solar flares and the northern lights and all this other stuff, but I was like, "Oh, cool, like whatevs. I'm super even keeled. Like, what are you guys talking about?" And I get back and I'm like, "Holy shit. What?" Which is very interesting because depending upon kind of where you are on the planet, different land has different is holding different frequencies, even though the entire planet is shifting and evolving. And the entire planet is receiving these high frequency flashes, of lights, right? Just intense frequency right now. Man, we are in for a ride the next, I don't know how many years, you guys. It's just intensifying, intensifying, intensifying. So let me share what came through for me with regards to what's most kind of prominent, um, and like what was brought to my attention by guidance. So hold on. Yeah, roller coaster is an understatement. Why is the chat telling me to say something nice? I don't know. That's really weird, Nancy. I don't know. Hopefully, it won't kick you out. Censorship is next level right now. Okay. Um, I guess it's I guess people aren't very nice anymore. All right. So here are there are two energy themes for this for right now. Let's just say the now. The first is that um there is an intense amount of high frequency light that is activating um, your DNA right now on a level that it has never experienced before. And what's so beautiful about this activation of light codes in your DNA, which is in your cells, is that this is the natural process of evolution. Um, we essentially we aren't really doing much, and in terms of creating this evolution, it's a natural process. And what we're going to start to recognize or feel or remember is that regardless of what is happening in your world, what is happening in your life, what you are feeling and thinking, and the job you have, the job you don't have, the money you're making, the ways in which you interact with people, the low vibration, the high vibration, the good energy, the good emotions, the bad emotions, blah blah blah, all the ridiculous programming that we put on ourselves, the pressure that we put on ourselves. We have to do it like this or do it like that. We have to be like this. We have to be like that. Evolution trumps all of that, literally. The light coming down from the sun, and you can have all the discussions you want around how you want to, what you want to call it. If you want to call it solar flares, if you want to call it the big central sun, if you want, like, all that information doesn't really matter to me. I always get just very basic kindergarten ways in which to describe it, which is that there is a sun that was designed by the Galactic Federation of Light, that is connected to the earth, that is simply here to keep us alive and to evolve the human body. And what that means is that the sun, through a very, very high frequency tone that you cannot see, penetrates the planet and penetrates the human body and activates the light codes that are held within the strands of DNA, which are held within the cells. And it's been happening for thousands of years. And as the intensity or the amount of light intensifies, okay, so imagine like a faucet, and the water is turned on, okay? When the faucet turns on more, there's more water coming down, then there's more of an intensification of this high frequency light that's activating the light codes. Now, this is not something you can do. I've been saying this for so many years. We are not in charge of activating our DNA. of activating the light codes. We can't. The part of you that wants to be in charge of this is the ego. And the ego has forgotten what the soul knows. You see, your soul knows that it doesn't need to do anything. It just needs to be in the physical body, allowing everything to unravel, which is chaos. Okay. When you have light codes that are erupting or opening within your own DNA and cellular structure, it's going to rattle, and in the intensity in which it is happening right now, it's going to literally not only rattle your physical experience in your body. Okay, so you're going to feel massive amounts of exhaustion, boredom, irritability, no motivation, absolutely no longer able to sort of like run sentences together. Your memory's going to go, right? You're going to have blurry vision. You're going to have tingling all over your body. If you have physical pains already, they will intensify. If you have pain in the body, it may intensify. If you are prone to injury, you may be getting more injuries. Like your physical body is going to respond to these bursts of high frequency light that are literally bursting inside of your body. And what it's doing is it's breaking the cellular structure and the energetic frequencies that have been stored within the body, right? We've been talking about this for years, but right now it is happening on a level that is out of your control. And the more that we try to stay in control, the more we are going to be in suffering. The more we remember what's happening here and that we are not in control of this. You are not choosing to go into some 5D state, or you can believe that all you want, but the part of you that's trying to control this or go a certain direction or be in some sort of state or find yourself in some sort of destination, you will continue to find yourself in a state of suffering, which is trying to get out of the right here, right now, which is where evolution is occurring. Right? It's in the right here, right now. It's in the intense emotional states you don't want to feel. It's in the inability to perhaps get along with people right now. It is in the moments where you can no longer be in crowds. It's in the moments where the people that were the closest to you, you no longer resonate with, right? It's in the moments where you are no longer able to do the things that used to make you happy. It's in the moments where you feel so out of control that you're just trying to grab anything to feel some sense of security in your life. These are the moments of intense evolutionary shift. It's happening for you in your body, whether you like it or not, whether you want it to happen or not, and you are not going to be able to grab it and make sense of it. You can find stories that support your beliefs around it. You can listen to theories and ways in which to view it. But at the end of the day, the easiest way through this is this deep, deep, deep cellular memory. The memories that you hold within your body, the knowingnesses that you hold within your body, that this is a natural process, and natural process energetically that will unravel physically in your reality. And when we start to drop into this, like, oh, whew, wait a second, there's actually nothing I need to do, even though this just feels really uncomfortable. It feels miserable. It feels like I've been in this forever. It feels like this. It feels like that. The more that you can drop into what is, the easier it is for your body, the easier it's going to be for the soul that you are, the easier it's going to be for this egoic structure that's always in control. It's going to be easier on one level. With all the temper tantrums you're going to have, this is a wild ride that we're on. And so these light codes are shifting your way of being in the world quite quickly right now. So there's a lot of change. And I'm talking about like change in the way that you see things from one day to the next. Um, it's going to change. One day you may feel super motivated. The next day it's like, I no longer resonate. You're going to feel like you fit into the world. And then 2 hours later, you're going to feel like you're not. Right. Like there are these types of insane shifts and changes that are happening that if you're paying attention to, you're actually not in control of it. You're literally on a ride. And that is what it means when your DNA and your light codes get activated. It's offering you the whole purpose of the light codes being activated. Light codes is information, and it's storing information so that you can be in new ways as the human collective evolves. So it's like new doorways open, new opportunity, new experience. It's even if you are feeling like nothing is new, I can promise you that who you are and how you're experiencing the world right now is very different than a year ago. The problem is that it's like your hair growing. So you don't actually realize how different you really are because it's been such a slow process. Even if there's been intense things happening to you, I guarantee you it's like your hair growing and you don't quite realize. And if you do realize, bravo, right? Because it's like, 6 months ago, your hair was at a different state or, stage than where it is right now, perhaps. And so that's how the evolution is. It's like your hair growing sometimes. You don't even realize. So you can say, well, Lori, it's been the same for the last 4 years. And I would argue till the cows come home that it's not, that you are significantly different. The way you see things has changed. The way you interact has changed. The way you are probably in more of a flow state has changed. The more you're probably allowing yourself to feel more has changed. The way that you are observing your thoughts has changed. Circumstances may be the same. Okay. You may be in the same marriage or the same relationship with the same job in the same house, dealing with the same bullshit, whatever that may be. But I guarantee you, the way in which you are being in the world has changed, even though there are deep, deep programs that you still find yourself in. Unworthiness, lack, inability to kind of really nurture yourself or nurture other people, or you're a people pleaser, blah, 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 all the things that we love to kind of grab onto and build a life around to try to fix and change and heal. So those still may be there, but you are significantly different. This evolution in human consciousness is a really brutally slow process. And it's going to continue to be a brutally slow process, but it is going to speed up. And so right now, in the next 6 months, the next 8 months, the next year, what you're going to notice is this speeding up of shifts, of changes. And what it's going to look like, and it's the light codes that are popping open. I want you to imagine that here's a cell, and then within the cell, I wish I had like a diagram. I need like a big whiteboard. You have a cell, and then within the cell is the DNA, and then within the DNA is a light code. And the light code holds, let's just say, the remembrance of more of the flow state. Or let's say that this light code activates more of your heart opening, or this light code activates more compassion, or it activates more faith, more trust, right? It activates these ways of being. And when you incarnated, you had like this briefcase that you dropped in as the soul with these higher frequency light codes held within your DNA, held within the cells. So that when you and the planet, when the human body and the planet were ready to start activating more and more in order to be able to be on a planet that was evolving, your cells, your DNA, the light codes would open and you would start being in new ways. That's how this works. And that's why everyone's talking about the solar flares, because there is simply just more high frequency light coming into your body. And so there's there is a a lot that is going to continue to be experienced by us. And personally, I would recommend not getting caught up in all the like, like the kind of like, I don't know, propaganda type stories around what it all means. It's like 2 plus 2 is 4. Then you could be like, yeah, but where did you get the 2? Like, did the 2 come from the devil? Did the 2 come from nefarious beings? Is the 2 actually trying to attack me? It's like, who gives a shit? 2 plus 2 equals 4. Just stay focused on that and be in your life, right? Like, the more that we get really caught up in these stories around whatever it is that's happening, the more we're going to be out of the presence of now. And the now is where your highest potential is, because the now is experiencing what is physically and energetically happening for you. And anything other than that is going to pull you out of that highest expression. So but if you think about it, why do you think there's so much distraction now? You know, why do you think technology is advancing in the way in which it's advancing? It's all to pull us out of presence. It's all to kind of keep us um, not in our highest vibrational point. Right. And also, kudos to all of you, because your highest vibrational point is chaos right now. It's polarity. It's feeling great 1 minute and feeling super shitty another. That's your highest frequency point. And to be able to courageously allow this without trying to control it is always your soul's desire. So your soul is never going to say, bring me into a high frequency. Your soul is never going to say, that's a negative thought or a negative emotion. Your soul is never going to say, I'm choosing a 5D new earth and you're not. The soul is never going to say, you need to do all of these things in order to embody your higher self. Your soul's never going to say any of that. Your soul is going to say, wow, good fucking job being here right now. Wow, look at what we're feeling now. Wow, look at what you still believe is your thought. Wow, are you feeling these physical sensations? Holy shit, look at the ride that we are on. Your soul doesn't give a shit about 5D or going here or finding this. Your soul knows that it is in the ride that is the experience, that is the evolution, that no matter what, you are headed through all of it. You're not stopping, you're not stuck, you're not getting somewhere, you're not going somewhere. It's all in the ride. The soul knows this. So the soul is completely relaxed. It's like, shit, my body is like, these light codes are activating. I can feel some stuff happening in my body right now. Holy cow. I'm all over the place. I'm up and I'm down and I'm this and that's why the observer is so huge, because the soul simply observes. And so the soul doesn't get caught up in all the stories and all the things that this is happening and the sun's fake and this and that. It's all this nonsense. The soul's just like, what? Because no matter what stories you're told from this point forward, from the last 10, you know how many stories I've been in this spiritual community since I was 13. Okay, I've heard story after story after story after this is happening and this is going to happen and look out for this and prepare for this and this date is going to, so many times. And all that it does is it keeps you in some sort of state of like anxiousness or worry or wonder or preparation or what, and it takes you out of the actual most powerful, potent place, which is the chaos of the up and down right here, right now. Nothing else matters. And the soul knows this. The soul knows the whole playbook. It does. Soul knows the whole playbook. The soul knows that it came here for the ride and that evolution takes care of itself. And that it's almost like, someone's reading you this book and they're like, you've got to listen to this book. It's so crazy. It's so scary. It's a true story. And you're like, I've heard 17 of these people come in and tell me that their story is the truth. And it's crazy and it's scary and it's this and it's that. You hear somebody walk in and tell you a story so many times, you're just like, doesn't really matter. Right? I just got to stay focused on the deep, deep remembrance of what this is all about. And so right now, what is being experienced by so many of you is these, the light codes are exploding and opening, activating on a level that is making you feel out of control. So if there are two energies, it's being out of control right now and pushed into a flow state. So those are two really potent energies that you're going to start feeling more and more as your codes, as the light codes within your DNA, within your cells start activating. You're going to feel less and less in control, and which is going to push you more and more into a flow state. And a flow state is the here and now, bumpy, up and down, chill. It's all of it. That's the flow state. It's not grabbing anything. It's no longer, finding success in some sort of finalized state. It's starting something and then starting something else and then starting something else and being with this one person as a friend, and then all of a sudden maybe you don't feel like being with them in a friendship any longer, and then you're with them in a friendship again. It's the flow state is not, it's no joke. It's no joke. So the light codes are going to activate this experience of just not really being in control more and more, and the flow, the state of flow. The other theme in this energy update is what I really felt when I came home to the United States, which excites me so much, and it's also so super trippy, is the split. Like, I mean, we're really actually physically starting to truly experience this shift of the two worlds. And again, I've been in this spiritual community realm since 1988, 89. And we have been talking about this split happening for 30, 40, 50 years. And ever since the solar eclipse, we have started to truly, really start being able to physically, tangibly experience this split. And I felt it massively when I got back from Africa. I was like, holy shit. Was I in Africa during the solar eclipse? No, I wasn't. I was here. But yeah, the last month and a half, it's ramped up. And so what is the split? What is the feeling of it? And then we're just in the beginnings. This is years upon years. I know people don't like me to say that and they don't want to believe it, but it is what it is. So this split that we're experiencing right now, I mean, it's been splitting. So I want you to imagine, I'm sure there's so many people talking about this, right? I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of people, but it's two different dimensional fields that are going to be experienced more and more in the now. Okay. You can label it as like a 3D, 5D. You can call it old Earth, new Earth, whatever you want to label it, because we have to have labels to it. But it's being in the now, experiencing two very distinct realities. And there's actually multiple realities that we can experience in the now, right? There's uh, an infinite amount of worlds, so to speak. But the planet itself, she is being experienced in two very distinct realities right now. And how we're going to start to and continue to feel this, well, there's probably going to be a multitude of different physical and emotional and mental and spiritual ways that we'll be experiencing this. But right now, a lot of us are going to be feeling as if we are here, but not here. It's like you're in this world, but you're not in this world. Um, it's like you kind of can feel like you're somewhat of like a ghost. Like you're walking around, you're engaging with people, but it's like, am I in this world? Like, am I here? Right? You're going to find that it's really hard sometimes to like maintain mental stuff, like the mental game is going to be challenging, like holding conversation, like, wait, what did you just say? Hold on. What's happening here? You kind of start to go into like a daze, like it becomes more challenging to hold conversations. It becomes more exhausting to hold a conversation because conversation is so mental. It's not energetic. It's not our natural state. And so the more that we are in the mind, the more we are in that kind of older way of being. We're designed to be in the body and in the heart, which is that when you are around people, it's more of an experience. It's more of a feeling state. You don't have to speak as much, right? So it can be exhausting at this point having conversation, or you'll find yourself having conversation and being like, oh my God, I can't hold conversation in the same way. It's because we're not designed to be in conversation like that, even though conversation is so fun, right? It can be so juicy to engage um, and be in that. But you're going to start noticing more and more that conversation feels a little bit heavier, that you're going to be required to not say as much and be able to still feel like you are fulfilled in that conversation. Um, I have a whole list. you're going to, um, you're going to start realizing and feeling yourself seeing success in a different way. There's not going to be like a destination that you're getting to. You're going to find yourself more just being in what is until something else arises and then something else arises. So a lot of us right now are trying to figure out what to do or where to go, or what we're trying to find meaning in our lives. We're trying to find purpose in our lives. It's because we're in between these different sort of worlds, so to speak, right? So it's a very unstable, out of control feeling. And so we're trying to find some sort of meaning, some sort of clarity, some sort of defined way to be right now. And just pay attention to that, because the defined ways of being, the purpose that you've been trying to make in your life, the if I hit this goal, or if I get to this level, if I do this, then I'll be okay, or I'll feel like I'm in a controlled state of some sort, or that's going to go away. It's going to start dissolving. It's not going to matter in the same way. You're going to start recognizing like all of the ways in which you've defined your reality in your world. What makes you happy? What makes you feel loved? What is love? What makes you feel like you have abundance? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel heard? What gives you joy? Where you are giving more, where your generosity is. These are all things that are going to start changing. You're going to find that it's in the simplicity of life where the greatest joy is. You're going to find that giving is 10 times more potent than receiving. You're going to realize that the interaction and engagement with your everyday life is much more potent than being enclosed in our house where we have kept this illusionary state of feeling more safe, right? Um, we're designed in this kind of newer world that we're teetering in between, to be in it, in the simplicity of it, in the picnics, in the walking down the street, in the swimming in the ocean, in the getting your groceries at the grocery store. Like, it's that stuff, not the profound moments where you're doing some sort of sacred medicine, or those types of things. We're going to start realizing that it's not about these super high moments, and it's not about the super low moments. It's about this kind of even keeled, mundane experience of life where the actual uh, beauty and potency is. Um, you're going to find yourself stepping out of more and more distraction. So you're going to start noticing yourself even more being distracted by little things, and you're going to start to um, engage more in life, um, be in life more, uh, which is the opposite of where the world wants us to go. um, you're going to start seeing through people. You're going to start seeing people's trauma more. You're going to start feeling people's pain more. You're going to start to recognize when people aren't being honest, when there's a deceptivity in their information or their message or their sharing with you. You're going to be able to feel people's sadness even more, pain, suffering. You're going to feel more with people. You're going to be able to intuitively kind of know what's happening between you and a stranger. Or it's going to be the strangest thing. If you haven't already been experiencing this, you're going to start experiencing it, and it's freaking wild, because you don't know the person, but you know that they need a hug, or that they're sad, or you need to just remind them that it's okay, that everything's okay. And you don't know them, they don't know you. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we'd be like, "Oh my God, you're so intuitive, you're so psychic, you're so, whatever. How did you know? You can read energy." And now, at this point in our evolution, and it will continue, it's just our natural state. It's our natural state to be able to feel other people. Um, and that is going to be one of our greatest superpowers, because it gives us compassion and kindness. When it's not about how they are presenting themselves, like if somebody's being aggressive or mean, or if they're being insecure and feeling standoffish, or whatever they may be doing, right? That is not who they are. Underneath that is the pain, is the suffering. And we are designed to begin to feel that, as opposed to believe that they are how they are being, or doing how they're doing in the world. So one of the ways that you're going to start to notice this in your own life is, instead of constantly cutting people out of your life, which is what we have done because we have been practicing boundaries and blah blah blah, we're going to start realizing that people are in a huge amount of pain and suffering. We're going to start to feel that pain and suffering. And our hearts are going to open more and more, which is one of the reasons why I want you guys to come with me to Kenya, because it opens you in ways that you can't do on your own. And it allows you to see some of the most horrific experiences and atrocities and evil, and you're able to keep the heart open. So if somebody's in your life that you want to call a narcissist, and you want to call whatever you want to call them, in the older world that we've been in forever, we have to hold firm boundaries, and we have to separate ourselves, and we have to no longer have them in our lives, and we have to do all these things. And what's coming, and what you may be teetering on, is that you don't have to do that anymore, because your heart, your soul is going to see why they're doing and being the way they are, and you're not going to it's not going to make sense to cut them out because you're feeling into why they're doing what they're doing. Now, if they're abusive physically or mentally or emotionally, like, sure, you got to take care of yourself. But even that, it's like, it's not going to impact you in the same way. It just isn't. It's not going to have the same impact. And so you're going to start noticing this more and more. There's a massive split happening. The way that a large percentage of us have been living, we're going to slowly begin to live very differently than how the rest of the world is living. It's going to look very different, and it's going to be inverted. Okay? So all the ways that we have been living for thousands of years, flip it, and that's the way that we're going to start living. So success means that we build ourselves up into this sort of, we have a certain amount of money, or we look a certain way to people, or we have a successful business, or this or that, right? You flip it, right? You flip that, you invert it. And success is actually in the simplicity of life, of finding joy, of finding peace, of finding ease. It has nothing to do with some sort of external grab. Success is there isn't anything you're grabbing, and you're finding a sense of peace or a sense of calm regardless of what it is that you have, right? It's just everything's going to be inverted, and that really is the split. So there's going to be a huge amount of compassion and kindness that you're going to start feeling more and more. These are not things that you can do. You can't like meditate yourself into this. Okay. You can't, these are things that are going to naturally start to happen to you if they aren't already. Your evolution, the shifts that you are experiencing in your lives, the way in which you're seeing the world and being in the world, I guarantee you, for most of you, it's kind of, you're like, well, yeah, I've practiced, I've been healing myself, but you haven't been trying, you can't get yourself into a flow state. Flow state just starts to happen. You can't get yourself into more kindness or compassion. Kindness and compassion just starts to happen. You can't bring yourself into more presence. You just start being more present. These things are just naturally happening for you, right? And you're going to notice this more and more. That doesn't mean that healing isn't important. It doesn't mean that understanding your triggers aren't important, and understanding, all the things that we understand in this world and we try to peel apart. Like, oh, these are my coping mechanisms, and this is my, I'm a whatever on the Enneagram, or these are my attachment styles, or blah, 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 right? It's all part of the journey. But what we're going to start to realize in this split is that the split itself, the evolution itself, is what is healing me. It's actually doing the deeper activation and work, while I kind of sit on the surface level thinking that I'm doing it all, right? Even though it is important to do that kind of work. So simplicity, your life is going to become more and more simple in this split. You're not going to be, you're not going to, meditation helps because it brings you into presence, but meditation isn't going to be able to do what the natural evolutionary process is doing. So the more that you can stay present, Winter, in what is, the more you'll be able to tap into what's available for you in terms of how to be. Meditation is great. I meditate every day in the morning. I pray every morning. I meditate. I sit quietly. I go into nature every single day. I have to do it. I just don't have an expectation of that creating a reality for me. It's just like eating food, right? Or it's like, this is just what I do, and it's just part of my day, and it's extremely important, but it's not what's going to get me into a flow state or open my heart more. Life is going to do that. Like life is opening that for you in every moment. Um, but it's like, well, you don't need to eat food. It's like, yeah, my body needs food. My body needs meditation. It needs to sit quietly. It needs to go inward. It needs to not be supercharged by all the energy out there and all the thoughts in my mind and everything that takes me, right? So it's really important if it's something that you are called to. But it isn't going to be the key that opens everything. Evolution is the moment, the now, the presence. Your life opens it every single moment. So another thing is you're going to find yourself not chasing or trying to get to a destination. Now, a lot of us are in this place where we are still really grabbing onto finding like getting somewhere. There's a destination for me. There's an outcome for me. There's somewhere I'm getting to, right? It's very much the kind of old world that we are in, that we've been in. And it's really difficult to let that go, that there actually isn't anywhere for you to go. There is no destination. There is no end point. And everything that is meant for you and designed for you is right here, right now. And if it dissolves and goes away in 6 months, then something else is going to arise. And everything is designed to sort of come and go like this. If something lasts, if a relationship or a job lasts for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, that's its lifespan. And then if it goes away and you lose your job or you lose the relationship or you lose the house, then that is what it is. And then there's something else, right? This idea that we try to get to some sort of final place or a destination or an outcome of anything, which is kind of an attachment, you're going to start to lose that more and more. It's very difficult to let that go though, because you have to be in that floating state of like, oh, I'm just floating in the air. Like I can't grab anything. It doesn't mean you don't have a intention, a goal, right? So the human still needs to feel as if it's setting goals and that it has a direction in life. We're still there. We still kind of need that, right? But you're going to find that in those goals and in those intentions and in those desires where you see yourself, where you're going, right? In that, you're letting go more and more. Right. So it's like, okay, I have this desire to create these retreats in Africa. Man, it is, I see it in my future. And although it is a super alive with me right now and I'm moving towards it, simultaneously, I understand that all of it can go away tomorrow and something new may be here. And that's what I mean by there is no destination or outcome. It's like you can have the desire and the intention and it can feel so alive in you. But when you start teetering and being in these two separate worlds, right? The newer world is going to require you to let go of attaching to any outcome, because there are always going to be new things that may arise. And if you're super attached to where you think you're going, you're not in flow. And this new world, quote unquote, world that we're moving into is all flow, which means that you're not in control of where you're going. Your soul knows that it's just going for the ride, right? And so you have to play in both of those worlds. You have to juggle both. You don't just sit back. And we've been talking about this in a line for a while. You don't just sit back and say, oh, well, what's going to happen, right? You play in it. You plan and organize and desire and set goals and whatever, but you let it all go, knowing that if it isn't what is next, then something else will be next. Tingling, blurry vision, scrambled thoughts, talked about that, exhaustion, severe lack of motivation, procrastination, confusion, boredom, feeling like you have no purpose. That's a big shift in the split right now. Just not feeling like you belong, that you should be here, that you fit. This feeling of not fitting is going to intensify. Whew, it's going to be a big one. Like you're trying to find where you are in this world. Where do you fit in? Um, uh, Oof, my leg fell asleep. Oh, it's getting really hot in my office. Hold on a second. I'm going to open my door. Yeah, so not fitting in is maybe a big piece, or trying to figure out where you fit in, how you fit in, like fitting into pieces. Um, um, you're going to start seeing polarity more and more, which means you're going to start seeing opposites. You're going to start feeling opposites more. Um, So you may feel super safe and in life one minute, and then the next minute you're going to feel like the world is out to get you. That's why you want to be real careful who you're listening to online, because it has a profound and powerful impact on how the lens you use to see this world. And I'm going to tell you right now that the world that we are in is all over the place. So you're going to see love, and you're going to see fear. You're going to see positivity. You're going to see negativity. You're going to see people coming together. You're going to see people separating and dividing. This is part of the split right now, is really starting to see the split. And again, not getting attached to the split, which means not getting attached to this idea that you should only be seeing the good or the positive or the this, or you shouldn't be focusing on it all just is. So you don't want to have a laser beam focus on any of it. You understand? You're in the field, the battlefield of it all, and you're watching it. Anything that pulls you into a specific, like this is it, a timeline or an idea or an outcome, or this is where you're going, this is what you need to do. You want to pay close attention to that, because that is trying to control a quantum split where you're not in control. You're experiencing all of it. And so when you're standing in this quantum split that's happening, this different reality arising in your now, you're going to see all kinds of stuff. You want to get more and more curious and less attached. Okay. You don't want to be like, oh my God, is CERN doing this? And is this happening? And what you want to just watch it all as a movie. And when you can do that, you're less attached to any physical reality or timeline, and the evolution can pull you into these new ways of being much easier because you're not attaching. Does that make sense? You're going to feel less control. I've said that a couple times already. So less and less not in control of your life, fortunately or unfortunately. The reason I'm sharing all of this is not to be like, oh my God, like, you know, we're screwed. It's to be able to make your experience that you may be having, to normalize it. Like there isn't anything wrong with feeling more and more like you don't have control. That's part of the evolution. And we're going to start feeling ourselves in that more and more. And so if we fight against that because we want to stay in how we have been, which is I want to feel like I'm in control, which is totally normal. But if we make it wrong that we're feeling more and more out of control, then we are holding ourselves back from this powerful and magical evolution that's happening for us right now. And this evolution is not something that is for the faint of heart. It is not easy. It is not just some sort of manifestation you can have in your head and you can just frequency yourself there. You have to let go at a level that most of us are not in control of. You can't kundalini yourself into this. Like you awakening your kundalini and doing all that. Anything, in my opinion, that has some sort of sense of control around it is still not fully surrendering to the natural potency of the evolution, which is just being in the right here, right now. And that, I think, is one of the most difficult and challenging parts of this, is that we have to quiet ourselves down and stop trying to do what is naturally doing us. We want to do it. We want to help it. We want to move it along. We want to make it easier. And I understand that. I do. But eventually we will start to realize, holy shit, this is simply about learning tools to be able to be in what is, and to not try to fix it in some way where we're trying to move it along. This process is natural, energetic, physical, and it happens in the body through light, which is energy. And it's going to continue to show you ways of being that are going to feel challenging. They're going to show you ways of being that are not necessarily going to make sense. It's going to show you ways of being that are going to feel new, and not new in a great way necessarily, but new. It's going to stretch you. It's going to feel uncomfortable, perhaps. It's going to feel messy. It's not all pretty in a box. This is why you are so courageous, is because you're going first. Because you're raising your hand and you're saying, sure, I'll be on the front lines of this massively chaotic, beautiful, miraculous, oh my God, shift in human consciousness, where you are literally becoming something brand new. You are literally shifting into a completely new way of being on the planet as a human. And it's baby steps requiring you to slowly peel yourself out of and away from all of the ways in which we have been deeply programmed to be. And no matter how much meditation or Kundalini awakening or magic mushrooms or ayahuasca or any of that you do, eventually you will have to confront the now in every now. And you will have to just simply show up in life with what is, in the bare nakedness of it, and stand in front of the mirror of the now, which is going to show you whatever it is that is. And that is your highest potential. And that is the evolution. What is arising right now. And that is the most courageous, miraculous experience you can have. And everything else that we do is us just trying to figure out how to do what is already being done. And we're going to realize this more and more. And in the meantime, we have a huge amount of compassion for ourselves as we navigate all of this. Because humans don't like to, they need to be in control, and they need to fix, and they need to feel better. We need to feel better. We need to feel like we're not stuck in something because we have the belief that we're stuck in it. Being in the now is the hardest place for anyone to be. It's the hardest. And it is truly the where the deepest magic is. So less and less control. So you're going to be forced into trusting more and more, more and more, more and more, more and more. Trust, 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 trust. Trust in what is, trust in what is, trust in what's unraveling, trust what you're feeling, trust what you're experiencing, trust. Deep trust. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. Life is gifting you. Life is showing you. You're going to start to perhaps need to be in massive amounts of trust when there is nothing to see. So you don't know where you're going. It's like you have blindfolds on. It's a very uncomfortable place. You have blindfolds on and you're walking around. Have you ever played that game where somebody blindfolds you and you have to put your hand on them and they lead you through? I did this with a friend of mine once at the airport. It was freaky. Try this one time when you're at an airport or somewhere where it's really busy and you have a friend with you. Close your eyes and then they hold your hand and they are walking you through the streets or through the airport, where it is really freaky because you feel so vulnerable, and you're like, all you want to do is open your eyes to be able to see what's in front of you, and you have to trust so deeply that this person is going to keep you safe. And that is what is happening right now for you on this planet, except the person that's guiding you is soul. It's God. It's life. And so you have to get more and more comfortable with not being able to see what's coming. Like, get so brutally comfortable in that dark space. And watch how often you need to open your eyes, which is like this feeling of like, okay, I need to grab something that's going to make me feel safe, something that I'm going to be able to control, right? Something that I know is going to happen. Like, I know that if I do this, that this outcome will happen. Um, yeah. Okay. What else? The last thing that you may be experiencing is, I think I already said this, but a push. You're gonna be pushed into kind of new ways of being, slowly being pushed into new ways of being, or slammed into new ways of being. But the way that you're being kind of pummeled into new ways of being is just, it feels uncomfortable. And I just want to preface this, or I just want to reiterate that it's okay that we seek refuge with people and places and experiences and food and alcohol and whatever it is we need, right? It's okay that we seek refuge in healing and in all these different ways that we can heal and relieve ourselves, and that is beautiful. Thank God we have that. Thank God. But, and I've been saying this for quite some time, eventually we're going to start to realize slowly, it's like peeling our hands off of the handlebars. It's like you can let go. The car, the bike will drive on its own, or the car will drive on its own. Eventually we will realize that we can just sit back and be in life, and life will take care of us. But that's a journey all in of itself. Um, don't do this in an airport. It won't go over well. They will think you're kidnapped. Don't actually put a thing on, but just close your eyes and hold your friend. I did it. I mean, people definitely think you're weird, but I don't know if you close your eyes and you just hold someone's hand and they walk you through. It's pretty trippy. Or do it at a grocery store, or do it at a outside but where it's busy. Do it where it's busy. I swear it's trippy. Um, Massive trust. Oh my goodness gracious. um, so okay, that's it. That's the energy update. Huge amount of light codes being activated, which is shifting you and changing you. And then this split that's happening, this really powerful, finally we're starting to actually feel and experience the shifting of two worlds. And it's fascinating. It is really, really fascinating. And it's really happening now. Pay attention to every little like nuance that you're experiencing and feeling. Pay attention to how you're engaging with people. Pay attention to how people are engaging with you. Pay attention to how you're starting to the ways in which you're seeing things differently maybe, or how exhausted you may be or you're continuing to be. Um, how you're like, man, the motivation is so low. I've never experienced anything like this. Start to just find yourself in more of a curiosity as opposed to um, something's wrong. Okay. Instead of this shouldn't be happening, can you start to remember that this is what's happening? And um, there's a very small percentage of people on the planet that are consciously participating in this right now. So most people, well, every single physical body is receiving these high frequency light codes into the body. High frequency light is entering every human body. And depending upon the amount of density that is in that human body, that will dictate the speed at which their light codes are activating. So if you have a human that lives in a world where they're just happy in their life, they don't do a lot of inner work, they don't care, they don't really need to look at trauma, they don't want to look at their trauma, life is okay. It's very possible that they're not going to feel these shifts and changes because there's layers upon layers of density in their body. And their choice, at least right now in their life, is to just be in life and to find happiness in the very, not mundane, but the very superficial sort of way in which the world works. And that's beautiful. I'm very jealous at times of those humans because they seem much happier at times than I may be, right? But as you do more and more inner work, and as you become more and more aware of what you're in and what you're experiencing, and the programming, the mind control, the trauma, you start feeling all this stuff, the layers of density start to dissolve. And then the access to those light codes become more accessible and available. So you start to feel these codes activating more and more. And so you can imagine it as like you can either see the density as like mud or blankets, sheets on a bed, and you have to kind of peel back the sheets. So there's hundreds of millions, if not billions of humans that have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's okay. This is an evolutionary process that takes quote unquote time. And everybody will have and does have an opportunity to begin to go inward more and more and start to experience the inner world, the inner workings of their traumas, their programs, um, how they interact, how they engage, how they be, how they feel, how they think, all of that. Then there's a handful, a large majority of the people that are aware of all this that are still not feeling the light codes activating, which is okay as well, right? So the more density that is peeled back or drained kind of from the human body, the more you're going to feel those light code activations, i.e. the new ways of being. So it's not like you're better than, or they're less conscious, or that's just not true. It's simply what that human has chosen to experience and go through in life, and how they're choosing to experience and go through it right now. Being conscious isn't any better than being unconscious. The soul doesn't see it like that. The soul sees it as like, "Whoa, how are you going through this? You're completely unconscious, like, high five. It must be awesome." Right? The soul doesn't judge it like that. Like, everybody needs to wake up and everybody no, the process is the process, but more and more humans are starting to wake up to, like, what is going on? What's happening to me? Things aren't resonating anymore, and you're like, "Yeah, welcome to the game. Sit down, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on." And that's what I mean about you being on the front lines. My neighbors are meeting for the first time. They're like, "Hi, so it's nice to meet you." Anywho, yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting because lots of people will say, "Well, why are my parents not feeling this? Or why is my partner not feeling this?" I don't know, because they have more trauma that they haven't explored yet. Maybe they don't want to, maybe they're happy where they are, maybe they're I don't know. But if you think about what it entails to consciously begin to experience the evolution, consciously begin to experience the evolution, and consciously start shifting into new ways of being, kind of new humans on the planet, it requires so much inner focus. You feel so much. You're aware of your thoughts. You're critiquing your behaviors, your pattern. It's like it's a lot. All for the sole purpose of being able to serve humanity. And I'll tell you why you're serving humanity, because you're showing humans where they're eventually going, right? So you're going first, and it's a shit show, and it's chaos, and it's confusion, and it's a lot of inner work and turmoil and like torture at times, right? It's like, what is this all for? Why am I going through this? None of this makes sense. And I will continue to say this until I'm no longer alive. You are here to be of service to humanity, to show them how to do this. And many of you don't really have a choice. This is the journey you're on. You're on the front lines. You're maybe experiencing emotions that just aren't going away, or you're having a hard time finding people that understand you, or nobody is getting you, or you feel really lonely. You feel like you're not going to find someone that fits your way of being, or you're struggling with being able to find a job where it's not in this matrixy programmed world, or blah blah blah, right? And all of that is very real. But beyond that is you evolving into new ways of being on a planet that majority wise is still in these old programmed ways. God bless them. But these old programmed ways are going to continue to pull you back. And so you're squeezing or pulling yourself, stretching yourself away from the old ways. And it's very crunchy, crunch, crunch, Captain Crunchy, you know? So, yeah, every single human body is receiving the exact same amount of light. Every single human body's light codes are activating. It's just a matter of whether or not there is too much density where those light codes, if they activate, nothing's happening. They're not being expressed. They're not being able to kind of open and then impact the human persona. So it's not really doing much because there's such a heavy density within their bodies. So a lot of us right now in this community, and in a lot of the different spiritual communities around the world, they're feeling this because they've done all kinds of inner work. And they're like, holy shit, y'all feeling these solar flares coming down, and this light activating within the body, and these new ways of being that we're being pummeled into, because we have thinned out the density. What about kids? Um, that's a good question. So kids are much more thinned out. They have much less density in their bodies, so they're experiencing the same things that we are. Like, a large percentage of children are already wanting to be in new ways. They already aren't following the rules and the programming, right? So they're already trying to pull themselves into a new world, a new reality, doing it very differently. And so it's a blessing and a curse for them because they're still young where they don't have the ability to sort of stand up for themselves and make choices the way they would want to. So they have to kind of follow the way their parents are raising them. So they're a lot of them may be fighting against the system. But if they incarnated into a family structure where the family is awakened and moving through this evolution consciously as well, then it's going to help the kid feel confident or secure in how they are wanting to be very different than how the world wants them to be. But again, this isn't the majority of children, or the majority, like, it's still a small percentage. But that percentage is going to grow more and more, you know? Yeah, if your 12-year-old is confused and on edge, he's probably fighting between two worlds, you know? It can be much more intense for children than us, adolescents than us, because at least we understand and we can make a choice and we know that we've been deeply programmed and we kind of have a better understanding of what's happening. An adolescent is trying to just fit in. It doesn't want to be different. It doesn't want to fight against the system necessarily. Some do, but and so its internal guidance is guiding it to not be or do the way the world wants it to him or her to be or do. It's very difficult. So they silence themselves, they quiet themselves, they shift in order to fit in. They're much more on, like what you said, edgy. They're much more on edge. They can get depressed much quicker. Um, they they will they'll feel more anxious. Um, they'll have more stress or more uh and it's probably why they there's so many more kids that are quote unquote diagnosed, right, with all these sort of mental disorders. That's just not the case. It's not a mental issue. It's the inability to kind of be who they want to be in the world. Yeah, they're checking out. All right, you guys. That is it. That is all she wrote for now. I've got an appointment at 6 that I have to get to. It's okay if he doesn't believe you. Just keep telling him. Just keep telling him. Just keep reminding him, you know? Keep reminding him. Or don't even remind him, just keep speaking it, you know? Hi, Una. It's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're still awake. I hope this was useful. Um, I hope this helps you in some way, shape, or form in terms of navigating the train, the roller coaster that you're on right now. Um, Hi, Nancy. I'm so happy that you joined Patreon today. Yay! What about the more and more aggressive people? We have a huge amount of attacks with knives and weapons and rapings in Germany. Are the soul flares triggering them somehow? It's possible that it is, because what's happening is that people are being pummeled into looking at their trauma. So the more light that comes into the body, the more it's going to activate without us wanting it to. It's going to activate those light codes. And when those light codes get activated, it's going to burst the trauma. It's going to burst the density. So people that have never ever wanted to look at who they are and how they be in the world, and the traumas and the fears and the anxiety, people that have been able to scoot by without having to look at any of it, it's starting to unravel itself. And these people, unfortunately, don't know how to handle it. There's so much more aggression in people right now than ever before because they are feeling so much for the first time that they can't stuff down, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to be with this. They're going crazy and they're taking it out on people because, unbeknownst to them and without them choosing, same with you, the light is activating their natural state. So and when it does that, it has to flush out all of the density, which is the trauma, all of the pain, all of the shame and the guilt and the anger and the sad, everything that has been stored in these people's bodies that have knives and are raping and torturing. These people are in such deep pain and suffering that they are being horrific humans to other humans. And you're seeing it just in the regular everyday people driving, like people are just like losing their shit because there is a massive awakening happening that is not in anyone's control. And that is why we need to somehow find more compassion and kindness, not only for ourselves, but for other humans. That doesn't mean that we accept this behavior, not at all, but we see it through multiple lenses. We have to see what's happening here, not just through the lens of these are bad people. That's naturally going to happen. We're going to get angry and we're going to fight against it. And okay, yes. But can you also now use the lens of, holy shit, there is a lot of trauma stuck in that human body that these high frequency solar flares and light are activating within their cellular structure, and they don't know what to do about it. And the world's like going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Just look on social media at how aggressive and mean people are. My God, it's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. They absolutely need our help because people are going to start losing it on levels we've never seen. You cannot respond from that same frequency, my friends. You cannot respond to aggression with aggression. You cannot respond to agitation with agitation. You cannot respond with somebody that's being pissy with you by being pissy with them. We have to step out of that at some point. That's how we shift the entire planet. That's what evolution is you start to see what's actually happening through the lens of evolution. And then you start being in these new ways that you're being pummeled into. The plan is kindness. The plan is compassion. The plan is remembering what is actually happening over and over and over again. The plan is to do good deeds. Like, how can you help? How can you help people or animals, or how can you be of service? How can you, what can you do today that may bring a smile to someone's face, or whether it's a family member, a friend, a stranger. Definitely don't watch the news. If you're watching the news, you're going to have a lot more stress in your body. I can tell you that right now. Lots of stress. It does hurt my heart as well. Okay, is this it? Are we done? Are we complete? I think we're done. I think we are done. Guidance is telling me to post this on YouTube, which I don't share a lot of the Patreons on YouTube, but guidance is telling me to share this one. So I think I'm going to post this one on YouTube. I can barely go in public or on social media. Anywho, you guys, yeah, I'm going to post it on YouTube. I feel like it's just an important reminder, you know? And it's awesome that there's like that we can actually start to really experience this split. But here's what's so beautiful about the split is like this is just being human. You know, it's not about being some sort of galactic being or some sort of like higher dimensional thing or some like it's just being human, humbly human, which is what you came here to be because you're not a human. You're not human. You're this magnificent God particle source soul in a human body. And you came here for this. You didn't come here to expand out of it and be who you were prior. You came to be in the human experience. You came to be in this. You came to go through this. So many of us are trying to get to some sort of elevated uh place, like we're trying to like be a Palladian or like an angelic form, or like it's like no, you didn't come here to do that. You came here to remember that you're God, that you are soul. You came here to be human. Like you came here to play the game. Play the fucking game. Stop trying to not play the game. Get in there, be in the game, play the game, roll the dice, be the little choo-choo train that you chose to be. It's like you're playing Monopoly and you chose your token guy is the train. I'm going to be the train. And then the whole game, you're bitching and moaning about being a train. You're not even playing the game because all you can think about is the fact that you don't want to be a train and you wish that you were the dog. It's like, or you wish that you weren't being the train at all and you were in some other game. It's like, dude, you chose the train. Be the train, play in the game, get in there, get dirty, be it. Because it's your one lifetime. Maybe you come back, maybe you don't, but this is it. Evolve, play, roll the dice, pick the cards, go to jail, right? Okay, but be in it. We need to stop trying to be something other than what we incarnated to play in. We're all not human. We are all something other than human. Human is an experience in physicality. It's not who any of us are. And what we're here to do is play this role. As soon as you start to really embody the fact that you really are playing a role, you don't need to be anything else other than the role. And wow, this role is intense. But you're not it. You're not human. You're not the emotions and the thoughts and the traumas and the behaviors and the addictions and the relationships. You're just experiencing it as the role, as the little choo-choo train. But you're not the choo-choo train. And when you start embodying that more and more, you become so freaking empowered. Because you're like, holy shit. All right. Carpe diem. Hakuna Matata. Be the choo-choo train, be the train, be the what character, what piece did you choose to play in Monopoly? Stop trying to be some sort of galactic being. Stop trying to be some sort of like, high vibrational thing. Be fucking dense in the body. Be in the emotions. Humbly be in all of it. It's what you came here for. Then you really get it. Mr. Rogers did have Mufasa. Mufasa. Mr. Rogers did have a train. Oh my God, the shoe. I forgot the shoe. I did love I always wanted to be the train in Monopoly. It's not a dress rehearsal. Oh, you're in. You are in. You're in. All right, you guys. I'm going to post this on YouTube. Um, and I will upload the MP3. What else? I will see you guys on Wednesday for our guided meditation. Stay tuned for our 6-week live class, Evolution. I cannot wait. It's basically just going to be 6 live classes, 6 weeks of us diving deep into tools to really help navigate exactly what we're going through in the now. And I will still do Align 8.0, but perhaps in the middle of this class. I don't know. We'll see. Bari doesn't know who Mr. Rogers is. It's so insane. You got to go watch. No, it's not every day. Have you lost your mind, Brendan? Every day for 6 weeks? That's cuckoo for, although I have been guided to do a 40-day Align class. To be honest, I have. I'm just like 40 days. That's like 6 weeks. So I have been guided to do a 40-day Align class, which I don't know. That's a lot. But no, this is just for everyone's so used to the 21 days, you know, that it's like a 6-week live class where it's just one class a week seems like nothing. Like, what? That's it? One class a week? You usually do 21 days. What is this? It's kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe it'll be more classes in a week. We'll see. But anyway, it will be more of a teaching. It'll be different than Align. It'll be good. You got to join it. There's a movie that you got to watch about Mr. Rogers. No, there's a movie, a documentary that Mr. Rogers plays himself, not Tom Hanks. The 6-week class is called Evolution. It's coming out June 12th. And we start the class on June 20th. It's me teaching more than anything, giving you tools. But watch the documentary, the Mr. Rogers documentary. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, you will cry. It's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. The new program is going to start June 20th, Thursdays at 10 a.m. Right now, it's going to be 6 weeks. It's going to be one class, like 1 2-hour class a week. Maybe I'll add a couple more. But I'm really excited because I haven't done a 6-week course in a long time. Okay. That's Kyle Cease's event start. I thought it started, his thing started on the 21st. His thing starts on the 20th, whatever. Our class starts on the 20th. No, his is the 21st to the 24th, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's the 21st to the 24th. Okay, that's it. That's all I have. Stay tuned. I'm going to be posting the link for the wait list for Africa, for the Africa retreat. So make sure you're on the wait list, and you guys in the community will get first dibs for the first retreat. Should I tell you guys a little bit about it? Okay, a little bit, really quickly before I go. Okay, you guys are going to fly. Whoever comes, you're flying into Nairobi. We spend a day in Nairobi. And I have a couple of activities planned for, well, one activity planned for us the following day. And then the following day, so you'll get in on one day. We'll spend one day in Nairobi. Then the following day, we get picked up and we drive to the Masai Mara, which is like a 5-hour drive. And I want us to drive because I want you guys to go through the villages. I want you to see the people. I want you to interact. I want you to engage. I want you to see. I want you to see the land and and so we're going to drive to the Masai Mara. Then we're going to spend 6 days, 5 nights on the Mara. We're going to do some workshops. We're going to do a lot of safari. We're going to do, there's an optional balloon ride. We're going to go to one of the Maasai villages and where they still live very, very simply. We're going to engage with them and be with them for a little bit. And we're going to have an amazing facility where there's a pool and a spa, and you can just chill out if you want to just chill out. You don't have to always go on safari. And then we're going to fly back from the Mara to Nairobi. And then the following day we fly out. So there'll be 18 of us total. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, that's it for now. I love you guys. I have to go. See you next Wednesday. See you Tuesday for Untangled. And lots of love to you. Mwah.